I was shocked when the World of Warcraft hardcore meta had been going on for like 2 months and there hadn't been any real drama. Like there was some drama, like a little bit when people died, but that was mostly just salt and not real drama. I mean, then again, I guess it's not really that big of a surprise because there hasn't really been like any raiding loot, so there can't be like too much drama. But you think with World of Warcraft guilds, there would have been some drama because there's always drama. But luckily, xQc showed up. Because if you don't know, xQc has a history of every time there's a streaming meta, he shows up a little bit late to it, and he always causes the most drama possible and essentially kills the meta. So it started with this innocuous clip being posted on LSF.
Well, I'm just killing my Murlocs, man.
And that's just it. Like for the next minute, he just talks about how he's like just trying to kill Murlocs. He's not griefing anybody. He's not like BSing anybody. He's just literally just trying to level up. And he just so happens to be doing that in one of the most popular spots in World of Warcraft to level. And the issue comes because xQc also wanted to be in that spot. And xQc asked him if he would move. And he really didn't respond at first. And he kept being asked. And he just said no, he's just trying to level. He's been here for hours. And when he was like continually bugged about it, and like when xQc and his friends would just like sit there and watch him for a while, he got a little bit uppity and said some things he probably shouldn't have. It wasn't anything like serious or anything, so I'm not even going to go into it because it doesn't matter, because that part doesn't matter. What matters is this layer and what xQc did. So to explain this, if you don't know what layers are, I'm gonna have to explain layers. So if you already know what it is, just skip ahead, but I'll try to keep this brief. So essentially World of Warcraft came out 2 decades ago, and they could only have a couple thousand people per server because computers were old and bad back then. When World of Warcraft got re-released, they upped the player count on each server, but then they realized that, hey, this game was designed to have X amount of people in each zone. With all these extra people on the server, the zones are overpopulated, everyone is just standing around, and there's nothing to kill because everybody killed everything and you just have to sit there and it's pointless. So they added layers, which are just exact copies of the zone. So if one zone is too full, you'll automatically be put on a different layer where it should be empty. So you have actual mobs to kill. And that's where this drama started, because this guy wouldn't leave his lair to find another lair because xQc was on his lair and he wanted the same thing this guy was doing. Now, another thing I've seen in the comments is, why can't this guy just leave? xQc and him are in the same guild. Wouldn't it be the nice thing to do, because xQc had like a group of 6 and this guy's just one guy, so just be a good guildmate and leave. It is actually easier for xQc to move to another layer than this guy, because this spot on every single layer is probably going to have people already there farming because it's a really popular spot, because it's one of the best spots in the place to level up. So if this guy did leave this layer, he would have to essentially be the better gamer than the people on the other layers. Because what he would have to do is he would have to compete with the other person and try to kill things faster than they could, so that you would slowly reduce the amount of experience the other player was having or making, so that they get fed up and leave. However, they could also just be petty and they could just stay there and you both just level up incredibly slowly and just waste each other's times. And then he could decide, okay, maybe I'll try another layer and try to bully another person out of the spot. However, if xQc decided to do that, it'd be a lot easier for xQc to do that because he has 6 people. So he could absolutely bully a single person out of the spot a lot easier, because they would have 6 people killing mobs versus the one person. So the one person that would stand no chance. Even if that one person did try to stay there to be petty and annoy xQc, the amount of damage that one person does to their XP per hour should be very minimal, and eventually the guy is just going to give up. So it'd be a lot easier for xQc to move layers rather than just one person. And at first, this guy was being accused of like, oh, he's just griefing xQc. At first, he's just like a clout chaser, like he's just trying to get like some fame off of this, right? But he's like, no, I've been here for like 2 hours, long before xQc even thought about coming to this place. Like, I'm literally just trying to level up. And I did go through his VOD. He was just there for 2 hours, grinding Murlocs, trying to level up. And if this was all that happened, this would not be drama. It may have gotten like one throw on LSF, but it would have been forgotten. But this is not all that happened, because this has xQc involved. So while this was going on, this guy wouldn't leave. It was like 20 minutes. xQc was just sitting there watching him, not leveling up at all. And while doing this, he was calling Sodapoppin, because Sodapoppin is their guild leader. And when Sodapoppin didn't pick up because Sodapoppin was watching movies with real life friends, he started spamming xQc saying that it was an emergency. Pick up your phone, emergency, emergency, emergency. And the emergency was this drama. Like, what kind of like out of touch, insane person do you have to be to think that it's a good idea to spam someone emergency over World of Warcraft drama? So all of this stuff was posted online. Everybody surprisingly was dunking on xQc. Like, usually the large streamer, all their fans are just going to support them no matter what. And you think like this less than like 50 viewer streamer would be completely screwed. But no, everyone pretty much saw that xQc was the wrong and he was being insane. He didn't understand how World of Warcraft really worked, because what he was asking was making someone's life harder when he could just very easily. It would take him like less than 5 minutes to switch a layer and bully someone out of that layer. So what he was just asking this person to do was just insane. And everyone caught on quickly. But even though everybody was saying xQc was in the wrong, it didn't end there. Because once xQc saw the backlash to what he did, he responded with probably one of the worst analogies I've seen in a while.
Guys, it's like going to the gym, right? And going up to a machine, okay? And be like, hey man, how many reps you got left? Hey man, how many more sets do you have left? Hey man, do you know if you'll be done with the machine? I was here first. I was here 10 minutes ago. Now give you some subs.
Oh, I actually did figure out that part. Okay, so also at the end, after xQc asked him for like 20 minutes to move, he did. This is like where the small streamer was being petty, and where he probably crossed the line. He's like, fine, if you want me to move, pay me. And it was like 3 gifted subs, so it was like $15. Not a big ask, but still a pay thing to do. But like, first off, this just shows that xQc has never been in a gym. You really don't walk up to someone mid-set and ask them to get off their machine. So his analogy is completely wrong. What he did was he went up to someone in the gym with a group of friends and be like, hey, we want your machine. Can you get off your machine? And the guy ignores them and just keeps working out. And then he asks him again and again and again. And the guy's like, no, like, I'm just trying to like work out here. Just please leave me alone. And xQc was doing all of this when there was like 5 or 6 or 7 exact copies of this machine right next to it that he could have easily gone and worked out on. But he decided he didn't want those machines. He wanted this machine for some reason. And when he was told no, instead of being like, okay, like, I guess I'll just wait then, he starts calling the manager of the gym saying it's an emergency, emergency, emergency. And then when the manager picks up, he's like, yeah, I want this machine. This guy won't move off the machine. And the manager's like, what the hell are you talking about? That's stupid. Like, stop talking to me, and hangs up. And then xQc goes around the gym being like, hey, can you like get a load of this guy? He wouldn't get off the machine for me. And everyone's like, yeah, you're an idiot. Why would he do that? So you think after being called an idiot by everybody and saying that he's clearly in the wrong, xQc would end. But no, the next day he gets on a call with Sodapoppin to talk about this even more. And luckily, Sodapoppin seems to be like the most level-headed streamer at his size. And he tried to talk some sense into xQc.
Like, okay, well, I mean, these guys are a bunch of morons. I mean, this is just a bunch of bots.
They're a bunch of humans. Yeah, you get some. I know you were looking for a healer. I saw you spamming for 10 hours looking for one. You get what you get. I mean, like, you and Emaru have a entourage. No one else does. And Miz actually has an entourage. No one else gets that. And you're complaining that you're not getting enough? That's crazy. You walk into the layer. We got like 8 people. You can literally just exist and you win the layer. Like, that's actually how it works. It's not. I'm confused. What?
Yeah.
So you're almost done. So all of this is like, who cares? But it was a lot of ego coming in pretty hard, and of course there's a lot of pettiness coming in from Dowski afterwards. It was all stupid.
I honestly think this is like the first time I've seen a streamer call out xQc during drama like this and like actually stand up to him and call him stupid and dumb. And like, he called out the other guy too because some of his responses were petty and stupid as well. But xQc definitely started this drama and kept it going. And maybe if more people actually stand up to this bullshit, it won't keep happening. Then again, I think Sodapoppin just doesn't care about his viewership anymore. He just wants to play the games he wants to play and does what he wants to do, and he doesn't really care if he falls off or he burns bridges or whatever. He just wants to play games with his friends, while everyone else really just wants to get as much clout and numbers as possible so they can make as much money as possible. So I can see why nobody else really does. But it's wild to me that like after a day of like just the internet saying like you are clearly in the wrong, like what are you talking about? You're crazy. xQc still brought it up thinking he was in the right. Now after this conversation, xQc was like, yeah, sorry, I might have took it too far. I messed up in this scenario. So that's good. At least he admitted fault in this case. And it seems like he's actually going to make it to 60. Now, whether or not he actually knows how to play his class at 60, that's still yet to be seen because he got boosted the whole way there. Then again, this is classic, so it's easy enough to figure out how to play. I mean, I say that, but then I see a bunch of streamers play this who've never played before, and like they just panic at the slightest danger. And when all they have to do is like push any button and they'll be fine, they just sit there going like, oh my god, panicking, and they don't push any button and they just die. So